All right, y'all, time for my first guest. He's a country music legend. He's had 10 #1 albums and sold over 50 million records all around the world. He's back now with his first solo album in half a decade. It's called Here on Earth. You got to check it out. Tim McGraw, get on in here. Hey!
Did I get it working?
Yes, you did. Congratulations. Well done.
I am so technically unsavvy. It's unbelievable.
Oh my gosh, me too. This is not my forte whatsoever. How are you? How have y'all been in quarantine?
Doing well. I mean, you know, I get bored pretty quickly and pretty easily, but other than that, it's been good. Watching a lot of movies, cooking a lot. We're lucky we have all three of our daughters are at home right now, so we've had them home for like a week, so it's good to spend some time with those guys. You know, it's been a tough year for everybody. We've had 2 graduations this year, and, you know, they've been a little odd and a little different, but, you know, you try to make the best out of everything.
It kind of stinks, too, though, when you're graduating, because I know one graduated college and one graduated high school, right?
Yes, one graduated. Our youngest graduated high school, and our middle girl graduated college, yes.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. You work so hard, especially the college kid, and then you're like, okay, cool. Like, no celebration.
None at all, for sure. I mean, we had some, like, social distancing and some Zoom kind of thing celebrations. And here at the house, we had an outdoor, just our immediate family, you know, our kids and my sister and her kids. So, and everybody's been tested. And so we did it all right, but we stayed away from each other and sort of said hi across the yard to each other.
Oh, that's good, though. I feel like everybody has their little pod, you know, that everybody, if you don't go outside of it, then you all should be good.
Sure.
Well, I hear that Faith put you to work in the garden. Are you cooking? Are you cooking with the stuff you're growing?
No. I was doing some flowers for her because because 2 of our girls were driving home. You know, nobody's flying really, so they were driving in from California to be home for a little while, and so Faith wanted me to redo the front door and do flowers all around the place. So I spent a couple of days doing some gardening, trying to make it look nice when the kids.
Are you that guy that kind of gets out there and you can do that pretty easily?
I mean, if I have all the equipment there and all the stuff picked out and I'm told what to do, then I can do it. But if I have to come up with too much on my own, then I'm not very good. But when I was in high school, my mom's pretty artistic and has a green thumb and always worked with plants and stuff. So when I was in high school, I spent a lot of time working at a plant nursery, mostly just hauling stuff, you know, but I spent a lot of time doing some yard work and you know, that kind of thing.
So cool. I feel like foliage, I feel like it can just change the landscape in such a beautiful way and like make it so pretty and calming. And I'm the same way. So which daughter is this though singing with the dog? Oh my God, it's so cute. Which daughter is that?
That's Maggie. That's the middle daughter. Yeah, and Stromboli's the dog's name. Yeah.
Very Italian. I like it.
Yeah, well, he's a glorified bird dog is all he is, but he's Italian. I think he's called an Italian Bracco. So we had a family of those dogs. He's the last one left. Well, we have one more at the farm, but so we named them all Italian names.
I love that y'all are both singers and even your dogs sing. That's awesome. Like, it really is in the family.
To be fair, Stromboli sings a lot better than me. I'm probably the worst singer in the house.
Oh, shut up. I've seen you live. That's what I found so funny. I've seen you live, you and Faith, and you came backstage and you were like, oh man, if I'd known how to sing better. I was like, you did an awesome job of singing along. I was like, y'all both killed it. Like, you're so humble, whatever. He has just released his first album in 5 years. It's called Here on Earth. So, Tim, when did you actually finish the album? I hear you tinkered all the way till the end, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, as you know, are you ever really finished with making a record? I mean, you sort of get it in the barrel, right? You know, because you can always, then you go back a year later and you hear something, dang, I wish I would have fixed that, or I wish I'd have did that a little different. Art's always a work in progress. You never finished with it. But yeah, I've been working on it. Gosh, it's been Faith and I did our Soul to Soul tour a couple of years. We made our first duets album. So this is the first solo album in 5 years that I've done. But I worked on it like the last part of our Soul to Soul tours when I started working on it. I spent a lot of time flying in and out from being on the road and spending the night in the studio working on it. And yeah, we tweaked it and worked on it and kept messing with sounds and messing with mixes up until the last minute, until it just finally had to be turned in.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I think they're all like, for artists, it's like your little babies. And then you go out on the road, you tour with it, like you said, and you get out there and you're like, oh, you start doing something live. You're like, I wish I had done that in the studio.
Yes.
But so this album is called Here on Earth, and it's about the meaning of life, which is awesome because I literally have an album called Meaning of Life. But has that changed? Which I didn't find it, by the way. But has that changed for you this year? Like what life is? I feel like all of us have been put in this situation, like literally every human on the planet has been put in this like quarantine kind of pandemic mode, and there's just so many challenges that we're being faced with right now, and also like bringing back family to kind of those simple kind of forms, and us not being able to be as busy, most of us. Like, do you think that kind of affected you with this?
Yeah, for sure it did. It all came together, post, we were working on it the pre-pandemic, I guess, but a lot of the songs started making more sense contextually.
Yeah.
After the pandemic started happening, we were in the middle of mixing, and we remixed a few things after it all happened, just because we thought it just needed a different emotional pull to it because of the things that were going on. And what I wanted to do with this record from the beginning, what I started out doing was just sort of wanted to create. I didn't want to do sort of a linear story or anything like that, or do any kind of concept album, but I did want to sort of lay out a tapestry of life in a lot of ways, and have each song sort of reflect these vignettes that are part of your life. And as you go through life, as you mature, from the things that you did as teenagers to the things that you do as an older adult. There's even a song about losing your dog, on this album.
So it's song. I love it.
I know. So it's just, it's just about, it's about the things that we go through in life. And certainly now is a very reflective time in a lot of ways because of what we're all going through and what we're all dealing with. And there's, certainly people are going through some terrible times with it, but also I think there is a reconnection with family and a reconnection with your kids and a reconnection with being at home and sort of learning more about each other and paying more attention to each other and being a little bit more respectful of each other's space because of the sort of the world we're living in now.
Yeah, I mean, perspective is definitely, I think, the word for 2020. So, I mean, 2020, I mean, it's been a tough year. Obviously, we've been talking about it, but it's been a tough year for country music too. We've lost a few legends. One of those was actually Kenny Rogers. I know that was an idol of yours, right?
For sure. Kenny Rogers was a big idol of mine. And such a nice guy, and I got to sing with him, which was really incredible. The funniest memory I have of Kenny Rogers, a couple of memories I have of Kenny Rogers, but he came to one of my shows, and we sang "She Believes in Me" together. And he came to one of the shows, and it was one of the Soul to Soul shows where we had our stage was in the round and in the center, and the only way to get out to the stage was to be in some sort of road case, so we were trying to get Kenny Rogers out under the stage to do this song with me. So he gets into a laundry hamper. So imagine Kenny Rogers getting into a laundry hamper and laying down and covering him up and rolling him out under the stage, and him coming up and doing "She Believes in Me," which was really a special moment for me. And another Kenny Rogers memory I have is he played the Monroe Civic Center, and my mom was a huge Kenny Rogers fan. And so she took me out of school that morning. I think I was in the 6th grade, 7th grade or something like that. She took me out of school that morning. Put me in line at the Monroe Civic Center, and I made it all the way to the window before it sold out and I didn't get to get tickets. So, but later on, I was in college and I was working selling popcorn at the Monroe Civic Center, and I got to see a Kenny Rogers concert selling popcorn.
Oh my gosh, I've sold popcorn too in a movie theater. All our previous jobs.
Yes, for sure.
But wait, before we go, I want to ask about some rad cowboy skills that I saw. So who taught you how to rope?
Oh, well, I grew up riding. My whole life was spent, my stepdad was a cowboy and spent a lot of time on horses. God, that's funny. I could ride and rope before I could walk practically. So I spent a lot of time doing that. And I spent some time in high school rodeo when I was a kid, rode some bareback horses and some team roping, some calf roping. So I've done a little bit of that in my life for sure.
It's so great to see you again, Tim. Please tell your lovely family I say hello. And y'all be sure to check out Tim's new album. It's called Here on Earth.